Hey y'all, today I'm doing a video on how I almost got an abortion, and it's kind of like how I almost got an abortion slash how I hid my pregnancy. Yeah, so it's like a how I almost got an abortion, how I hid my pregnancy for 5 months, because nobody knew I was even pregnant besides the people that I told, which were very few people. Okay. So I had started messing back. Oh, by the way, this is my little angel icon. His name is Icon. It's I-K-O-N. I know it's different. Don't nobody got that name but my little munchkin. Say hi, Stink. Look. Say hello. No? Okay. He's like, I was playing with my toys and you just interrupted me. Okay. So. Ooh. Okay, so I started back messing with his dad in December. And we had dated prior to December. We dated for 8 months. And then we broke up late September. Like the end of September. So we broke up. And he had ended up like, you know, doing what guys do. He came back and then would leave again to waste my time. And he would come back again, waste some more of my time, then he'd leave again. Then he came back, wasted more of my time, and then he would leave again. So, you know, we would end up, but y'all know I had a soft spot for this dude because he was my first love. He's the only boy I ever dated for, it was like my first ever real relationship. So, of course, like, you know, I'm going to let him come back and waste my time, thinking, not knowing that he was coming back to waste my time. But, you know, I knew, but I didn't know. I kind of thought he was coming back to, like, you know, be with me, like, I've been texting and like FaceTiming, y'all. We was like falling asleep on the phone. He would pick me up and take me to school. Like, it wasn't even just texting, you know what I mean? So it was like that was my man, but that wasn't my man, you know what I'm saying? So then we had started like falling back off around like January. We never texted or like started back. Not even like talking, because we didn't talk. We just kind of was like messing with each other. We never messed with each other for long when he came back. So he came back in like the end of December. We was texting or whatever, January, and then we started falling off. And I had told him, I was like, look, I ain't getting my period, but I had been spotted. And my period's like clockwork. When it comes, it comes. When I'm on it, I'm on it. So I was like, look, I didn't get my period, but I'm spotting. I don't know what this is. I never spot. I had never spotted before. So I'm like, you know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm spotting. I was like, either I'm pregnant or something's wrong with me. So I'm like, you know, hopefully something's just wrong with me, because I'm not ready for no baby. He ain't ready for no baby. So it's kind of like, okay, fingers crossed, you know, something's just off for me. You know what I mean? So it gets to like February. And we had to stop talking. Like, we weren't texting, we weren't talking on the phone. Like, it was kind of just like, we didn't even know each other. We didn't talk in school. We just was like, we would see each other and keep it pushing, which is so weird because it's like, we dated for so long. We didn't even break up on bad terms for real. Nothing happened to where we would like, have like any animosity towards each other. It's kind of like, we just kind of like stopped talking, I guess, what exes do. So it got to like February, and I still hadn't got my period, but I had still been spotting. Like, I was spotting like on and off. I was spot for like a week, then I would stop, and I would spot again. It was just too much. It was like on and off. So I'm like, something really ain't right. So I finally texted him, was like, look, I'm gonna take a pregnancy test. If it's positive, I'll let you know. If it's negative, you just won't hear from me. And you know, we just like wash our hands of each other. So I had got home from school, and I had bought a pregnancy test on my way home. 2 pregnancy tests. I bought a cheap one that was like 88 cents. And then I bought like a $7 one. And I think that was like, it was, I want to say like One Step or something. It was some pregnancy test. So I bought that. I went home, and I went straight to the bathroom, and I peed on him. So I'm waiting, and when that test turned positive, I literally like, I started crying so hard. Like, I was on the floor, not this room, because this is like, this isn't even my house for real. Like, that's a whole nother story. So I started crying. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm pregnant. Like, my first thought was, I gotta get an abortion. I'm so sorry that I even thought that. That was like literally my first thought. I was like, I gotta get an abortion. Like, I'm not ready for no baby. He ain't ready for no baby. And I don't know if I want to be like tied to this boy for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, is this somebody I really can see myself having a baby with? Is this somebody I really want to like just have all this responsibility with? You know, bring a child in this world with this person. So I like immediately started Googling abortion clinics. Like, I was like, abortion clinics in Marietta, abortion clinics, abortion clinics. It was so many to look for. So I finally just found one. I clicked on, I called them, and I was like, hi. I was trying to figure out like some prices, like how much an abortion costs. And it was like, okay, well, it was for something. It was like for something. And they were like, well, you got to be 18 and get an abortion. And I was like, oh my God, I'm only 17 at the time. So I'm like, okay, I can't even get an abortion because I'm surely not telling my parents I'm pregnant because they gonna kill me. And so how am I supposed to get this abortion? And she's like, oh, well, you can get this thing called a judicial bypass. And that is basically where you go to the courthouse and they grant you permission to get an abortion. So you don't even have to tell your parents. Like, nobody, they don't contact your parents. Nobody tells your parents. They just give you permission to get the abortion. So I'm like, okay, like, how do I do that? She just told me, just go to the courthouse. Da, 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 da. So I'm like, okay. So when I was on the phone with them, I had text Caleb. I mean, I didn't want to say his name, but it's too late. I had texted him and I was like, we need to talk. And I think, I don't remember if he texted me or if he just called me, but I remember him calling, but I was on the phone with the abortion clinic, so I'm like, I didn't answer. So I just sent him a picture of the pregnancy test. I didn't even say that. I just sent him the picture, and I don't remember what he said. I think he said something like, oh my God, something along the lines of like, oh my God, or something. So then I'm telling him like, oh my God, I just got the phone with the abortion clinic. It's $400. At the time, I was the only one working. He didn't have no job. He wasn't working, like, so it was like all on me. So I was like, oh my God, it's $400. I don't have the money right now. Like, I haven't got paid. You don't have money. He's like, no. So I'm like, how are we supposed to get this $400? How are we supposed to do this? Because I'm not ready, you're not ready, whatever. Danita, who was also pregnant at the time, I told her the same day. I think I called her like, bro, I'm pregnant. And mind you, she had already been telling me I'm pregnant, because I told her, like, I was like, look, I ain't got my period, but I'm spotting and I don't know what's going on for real. She was like, yeah, you're pregnant. She was like, you're definitely pregnant. She was pregnant, so she wanted, not that she wanted me to be pregnant, but she wanted me to be pregnant. So I was like, I'm pregnant, like, what am I gonna do? I was so hysterical, like, y'all don't even understand. I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried because it was just so much. It was like, it was like hard to believe at first. It's like, no, I'm not pregnant. There's no way, like, there's no way I'm pregnant. Like, there's just no way. It was so hard to believe. And then me and my best friend was going at it at the time, so I couldn't even tell her. She wasn't even one of the first people I told because me and her weren't even talking. So then I don't remember if I called a courthouse or how I even got to the courthouse day, but we had left school because we both had minimum day because we only had 3 classes. So after our third block, one day, this was like probably a couple days or the next day. We worked quick with this. It was like a couple days or the next day, we were on our way to a courthouse to get the judicial bypass. So we get to the courthouse and I'm like, yeah, I'm here for judicial bypass, blah, 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 blah. So we're like, okay. And then I meet with some guy and he's like, okay, well, do you have a note from your doctor saying how far along you are, that you actually are pregnant? You've seen a doctor. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, nobody told me I needed that. I didn't know I needed that. I don't have a doctor. How would I have a doctor? You know what I mean? Why would I have a doctor? And I'm obviously not trying to go through with my pregnancy. So I was just like, what? I didn't know I needed that. So I'm crying. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get a letter from a doctor saying how far along I am? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just so upset because it's like, how am I supposed to get this letter from this doctor? What doctor do I have? So then I ended up calling the abortion clinic back and I'm like, they're talking about I need a ultrasound to say how far along I am. I don't have a doctor. And the lady's like, oh yeah, some states do that where you need to have an ultrasound to confirm your pregnancy. You know, just make sure you're actually pregnant, how far along you are, to make sure you're not too far along. So I'm like, can I get an ultrasound there? She's like, yeah, you can come in and get an ultrasound, but it costs. It was like $85. So I'm like, okay, you know, I got $85. So it was like the next day, he came and picked me up. We went to the abortion clinic, and we were in the clinic. And mind you, you gotta be 18. So I'm like in there. She's like, do you have, at the time, I didn't have an ID. So I'm 17 years old, I've got ID, I don't got no permit, I ain't got no license, I ain't got nothing. So she's like, do you have, you know, something showing your age? I'm like, no. So we're like going through my school. You know how like schools give you the apps to check your grades? So I had that, and she finally like saw my age or whatever. She confirmed it or whatever. So I get there, I'm like all over the place. It feels so long ago. It's almost a year. No, it's been a year since all of this has happened. So yeah, I gave her my date of birth and stuff. So we're just waiting. Now we're just waiting to be called back. And in there, I guess for some reason, you can't have hoods on. Like, they don't want you wearing a hood for some weird reason. And he kept putting his hood on. And the guy kept telling him, take your hood off, take your hood off. So he finally decides that he's just going to get up and go in the car. So this man got up, left me in the abortion clinic because he could not put his hood on. He left me in an abortion clinic because he could not have his hood on his head. When I tell y'all, when he did it, it's like, I was mad, but it's like, you know, what do I expect from him? You know what I mean? Like, this is not my boyfriend. What do I expect? But you know what I mean? But it did hurt my feelings because it's like, this is not something I want to be going through by myself. Even if I'm not getting an abortion right now, I don't want to be sitting in an abortion clinic by myself. You know what I mean? Like, why would you even want to leave somebody in an abortion clinic by themselves? Like, I just felt like that was so messed up. But he went in the car to watch anime and stuff on his phone or whatever he was watching, anime or like game videos. He was watching something on his phone. So I'm just in the abortion clinic by myself. So I ended up getting the ultrasound, which was surreal because I'm thinking I was going to get the ultrasound. And in my head, I'm thinking they're going to tell me, girl, you are not pregnant. What are you doing here? So she's like, oh, yep, I see the baby. I'm just like, so this is real. So I'm really pregnant. Like, this is not a joke. I'm really pregnant. So I get my ultrasound. I'm leaving. And I get back in the car or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I got it. So as soon as we leave the abortion clinic, we go straight to the to get the judicial bypass. So we get to the courthouse, and I gotta sign a whole bunch of paperwork, and you know, just filling out all my information and stuff. So then they're like, okay, you know, come talk to this lady. So I gotta talk to this lady, and basically she was just making sure like the abortion was my idea, like I wasn't being, you know, peer pressured into the abortion. I really, like, just making sure it was my decision, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like somebody, like, it wasn't his decision, and I was just doing it for him. Like, they want to make sure this is really something you want to do, because this is not, like, something you could take back. So I'm like, yeah, this is something I really want to do, yada, yada, yada. They ask you, like, why can't you tell your parents? Blah, blah, blah. So long story short, I get the judicial bypass. So now I'm able to get the abortion. So after I got the judicial bypass, after that day, we literally stopped talking. There was no communication. There was no text messages. There was no phone calls. There was no, like, literally nothing. We literally never talked about it. So I think I got fed up because prom, so this was like the end of February, and prom is in March. So I'm like, I was really like debating, like, oh my God, am I gonna go to prom? Like, I just feel like this is too much for me to deal with. I'm pregnant. I feel like I'm alone because my sister that knew lives all the way in Mississippi, so she wasn't really there for me. I didn't tell my other sisters yet, so my parents didn't know. So it was really like I was going through like this whole pregnancy and like dealing with this abortion stuff all by myself. So then I had found out that he was going to prom. And that's what really set me off, because it was like, I'm over here like contemplating like going to prom, and I had been talking about prom since like my freshman year in high school. So the fact that I'm even contemplating not going, and you know, he got a date to prom, and he's doing all this, like, you know, he's just acting like nothing happened, like, you know what I mean, like he hadn't started talking to people, date, like it was just so much. So I finally texted him like, look, I ain't getting an abortion, I ain't doing nothing. You talking to people and you going to prom and all this, and you ain't worried about what I'm going through, y'all. I sent him a long text message, and I was just like, it's okay, because don't worry about it. 7 months when I push this baby out my vagina, don't be saying nothing to me. I was so mad, because it's one thing to like make me go through it by myself, but it's another thing to like, I don't know, I was just hurt. Y'all, I was butt hurt. I ain't never been so hurt in my life, but I was so hurt. And then it wasn't even just the pregnancy. It was because his ass was going to prom, and he always told me he hated prom. So the fact that he was going to prom and he had a date to prom, I was ready to kill him. I promise you, on everything, I was so ready to kill him. I was so mad that he was going to prom. Like, you don't even understand. He was going to prom, and I was pissed. So after that, I don't even remember what he replied. Probably something dumb. We just ended up, so I said what I said, he replied, and we went like back and forth for a little bit. And then we got back onto the abortion topic. So, jumped back onto the abortion, and nothing happened. Then we stopped talking again. We literally, it was so weird, we were so on and off. We were like on, then we were off, then we were on. Not even on and off, it's like we only talked when I text him. You know what I mean? So it's like if I didn't text him, me or him did talk. It was literally just like, I'm not pregnant, I don't exist, he don't exist, and we're just two exes. But that's not the case. That wasn't the case, because I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So it was just the month of February and March. Honestly, my whole pregnancy before anybody really found out was hell. Oh, me and my best friend make up like sometime in March, and I finally tell her. It was one I told her in school too. She my baby sleep. I just scared him a little bit, but he still sleep. Let me lay him down. Yeah, my baby bald headed in the back. So, it was one day at school, and I had fainted. I passed out in school, like, fell, hit the ground, and everything. And everybody's just like, oh my God, Tamia, are you okay? Have you ate today? Like, what's going on? Is it your period? Like, what's the matter? And I'm just like, huh? I'm like, no, I'm good, y'all, I'm good. Just a little lightheaded, you know, nothing major. You know, everybody passed out. Like, I had never fainted before in my life. So the fact that I fell and I like had a big ass knot on my head was crazy. So I like called my dad. I'm like, yeah, I just fainted. The nurse wanted me to call you, but I'm fine. And I can't leave because I was supposed to have a lab in third block, and I already skipped third block so many times. So it was like, and you know, labs are important. So I was like, I can't skip this. I gotta go. So my dad's like, are you sure you're okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Everybody's trying to figure out why I fainted. My mom's Googling reasons I could have fainted or whatever. And I'm just like, y'all, I'm fine. Like, I don't know. I just fainted. Whatever, I'm fine. So I'm like, so I told my dad, that day I was like, okay, you bring me lunch. So he's like, yeah, I'm bringing lunch. You know, I used to faint car. I was like, I haven't ate. So he's like, okay, I'll bring you some lunch. So when he brought me the lunch to school, he was like, are you pregnant? And when I tell y'all, I was just like, what? Me pregnant? No. So I just laughed it off and closed the door. And this was the same day my best friend found out I'm pregnant. So I got to second block. I fainted in first block, which was culinary. So I got to second block. And I told my best friend, I was like, yeah, I fainted. I showed her the knife. She was like, why did you faint? And she was just looking at me. She happened to look at my stomach. And I was like, she was like, what? And I was like, and you know, we were kind of talking, but we weren't even saying words. that's how connected me and my best friend are. Like, we was talking, but there was no words, okay? So I was just like, and she was like, and I was like, and it was so funny. Because then she finally was like, you're pregnant? And I was like, and she was like, what? And I was like, and then she asked me how far along I was. And this was in March, so I was like, 3 months? I had to have been 3 months. Because at 3 months, I literally looked like this. This is how I looked at 3 months. How I look now is how I looked at 3 months pregnant in school. So nobody knew. I didn't even look pregnant. Nothing had happened. But you know what's so crazy about when I was pregnant? I got a pregnancy rash. And it happened on this side of my face. And it was like big. And my face, it looked like I had got like burned by something. But I literally had a pregnancy rash on my face. And nobody knew. Well, I for sure thought my mom would know that that's a pregnancy rash. Hell no, she what it was. She was just like, I don't know, maybe you're allergic to something. I'm like, yeah, I'm allergic to something, all right. So, told my best friend, and she was just asking, like, does Caleb know? How are you? And Caleb, I'm like, I feel the rain on all the deets. I really don't even remember all this stuff, so I'm trying to, like, go based off memory. That's why I'm all over the place, because it was just so much. So she knows, and she honestly doesn't believe I'm pregnant because I'm not showing. I'm like 3 months now. She's like, why don't you have like a push? Why don't you have anything? And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm little. I probably won't even pop for real. But my uterus had extended. It had just extended just a little bit. Like, it had got like maybe a little hard, and it had got a little round. At this point, you can get an abortion until you're 20 weeks. So I wasn't 20 weeks yet. How far long 3 months is. I wasn't 20 weeks yet. So I was still able to get the abortion, but at this point, I got the little Flow app on my phone, like tracking my own pregnancy, and it was like the baby was like the size of an apple. And I'm like, I ain't getting no abortion. I was like, I'm not getting no apple ripped out of me. It's not happening. Sorry, not sorry. I'm just not doing it. I'm not getting an abortion and putting myself through that. Plus, I would not have been able to handle that. Emotionally, I would not have been able to handle an abortion, because I've always told myself if I was to get pregnant, I would never get an abortion. I would never consider abortion. Like, I would just have my baby, and it would just, get through it. But that literally changed when I got pregnant. So I got into it with the girl he was going to prom with, because I'm crazy, and you're not going to be happy. And I'm over here miserable, emotional, crying all the time, depressed, like, you know what I mean? You're not going to be happy. I'm not going to allow you to be happy, take people to prom. So I started some drama. The drama started after prom. So I had seen a picture of him and the girl. Mind you, the girl he went to prom with is super pretty. She's not an ugly girl. She's really not. She's not an ugly girl. She's really pretty, and she's nice. But that didn't stop me, because I'm crazy and I don't play. So I had seen a picture of her and him, and she looked cute in the picture. There was nothing wrong with the picture, you know what I'm saying? Like, but what I did was, I seen the picture, so me and my friend Brittany was talking, and I was like, she looked like, she's saying like, why is he touching me? Because it wasn't like a picture that they would post, it wasn't like a cute picture. It was kind of like you ever been like snapping hella pictures and you just get one picture? It was kind of like I don't know, it was a weird picture. It was like, she looked like, why is he touching me? So, we was cracking jokes. Why is he touching me? Like, just cracking jokes about their picture. So, she posts the picture on her Snapchat. Mind you, me and him got each other blocked on Instagram, Snapchat, not messages, but just on any social media, we got each other blocked. So, she posted on her Snapchat, knowing he follows her. I'm so tired. So, she posted on her Snapchat knowing that he followed her. And I think some of the girls' friends follow her too. I don't remember. I didn't really care enough to, you know, put in. I just knew he followed her, so I knew he was gonna see it. So he followed her and he seen it. And I think he was gonna slide up. You know how you like start typing in Snapchat, but then they stop. So he started typing and he never said nothing. And then the girl, I'm trying to get some messages because me and her went a little back and forth. And then I remember seeing her and her best friend, because Spam was really popping, which is still kind of popping. Like, they had posted on her Spam some screenshots of the screenshot of what she posted on Snapchat, and the girl was like, should I be mad or not? Or so she said something like, should I be mad? Something along the lines of, should I be mad? So her friend was just like, no, you don't need to be, like, she's just a bitter ex, she's just jealous, and she's just jealous because you look better than her. I'll smack the shit out of her. Come against that what? You gonna smack the shit out of who? So one thing I don't do is take threats lightly, because ain't nobody finna say they gonna smack the shit out of me. If you say you gonna smack the shit out of me, you better smack the shit out of me. On Pyru, okay? So, let me find it. I want y'all to know exactly what the fuck was said. I gotta stop cursing. I know. So, it's a lot. I gotta find it. It's a lot of scrolling. But, I hope I didn't delete it. I feel like I deleted it. I just remember, so she posted that, and I seen it. Oh, y'all, I got the messages. Okay. So my friend had said, why the fudge he thought they was cute. I said, she looking like, why he touching me? And his caption was on the picture, Magnificent Nights. So I said, Magnificent Nights my ass. And I don't remember what my friend said, but I crossed that message out. I don't remember. Probably something reckless. And she said something. And then my cap, because this is on my spam, so I said, this is too silly, petty, and give no fudges. I said, I can't breathe. Y'all, Brittany is petty. Watch her snap. Has me dead, bro. So that's when she posted that on her snap. And then, so this is the screenshot of the girl and her best friend. So she said, should I be mad or... And she said, yeah, the F is her problem, but you cuter than her. She sounds mad, like a bitter ex on my mama. I'll slap the shit out of her. I want to see what that message said that was crossed out. Like, are we really effing mad? Yes, bitch. We're really fucking mad. So, I said, so when I act a fool, nobody better act surprised. Bitter about what? I've already had him. Nothing to be bitter about because y'all look the hot mess. FOH. She looked cute, okay? But I was just talking my shit, okay? So then, so I saw the girl the next day after school. Oh, no, let me get to the other DMs. So, I don't remember if I DM'd her first or she DM'd me. But somehow we ended up DMing. So I said, is there a problem? And she said, I don't have an issue, just don't see what the reason for the post was. Like, y'all been broke up and it's just prom. That post wasn't needed at all. And if it was an issue with Caleb, y'all could have left it at that. I said, first, I post what I want. It was a joke. Should never been took serious. Didn't say nothing bad about you, but now it's a problem. She said, I don't know why we're mad, but okay. And is that supposed to faze me or... And she said, it's really never, and I mean never that deep, my guy. And I was just like, I didn't reply to her because I was like, okay, I'm going to see her at school tomorrow. I said, we're not going to do all this. I'm going to see you tomorrow, okay? So, I didn't see her right away, but I saw the girl that said she was going to slap the shit out of me. So, I seen her, and my first instinct was to walk up to her like, so slap me. So, slap me, honey. Slap. You want the right or the left? Slap me, sis. So I'm like, slap me. You said you want to slap me. Slap me. So she's like, I don't have to do anything. She real life said, I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. Well, sis, don't be saying you're going to slap people and not really mean it, because I'm going to need you to act on it. If you're going to say you're going to slap me, you better be ready to slap me, because I'm going to see you. And when I see you, you better have that same energy. She didn't have the same energy, but we knew that, though. You know what I mean? Like, we knew she wasn't going to have the same energy. We knew she was kind of just talking her junk on the phone, but I had to see about her. You know what I mean? I had to see. I can't let somebody say they're going to slap me. Me being the type of person I am, you can't say you're going to slap me and then just expect me not to see you. You know what I mean? Like, so. Then I see the friend. The one that went to prom with my baby daddy. So I see her and I'm like, I don't even remember our conversation. I don't remember our conversation. It was really stupid. All this is really stupid, but you gotta think about it. I was pregnant, hormonal, and I was mad as fuck that my baby daddy was living his life and I was miserable. So I had to make his shit miserable too. So, I don't remember if me and him ever texted and talked about this. Probably not. We probably didn't. You know what I mean? He probably never said nothing to me because he knew better. He knew my mouth was reckless, and he knew not to say shit to me because he already knew what we had going on. I don't remember me in the conversation the girl had. This story is all over the place. I don't talk about my abortion. Well, all of this kind of is part of the story because all of this happened like while around the time I'm supposed to be getting an abortion, but I'm too busy arguing with people. So, all of that blows over. I don't remember what me and the girl talked about. That's because it wasn't relevant. But we moved on. You know what I mean? I moved past it. So, he called me a couple times. Because I don't necessarily pick up the first time he calls me because I didn't feel like it. So I would just let him call me. And I'll be like, y'all see something? But I finally picked up the phone. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm not getting it. Because I think he finally called me. And he was like ready to like get the show moving on with the abortion and stuff. And I'm like, look, I ain't getting it. I was like, I'm too far along. I ain't getting no apple ripped out of my coochie. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not doing it. It is what it is. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, we waited too late. I've tried multiple times to get the show, get the ball rolling. But you were too busy taking bitches to prom and living your life. So, no abortion. And I'm really happy that I didn't go through with that because I probably wouldn't even be the same person today because I just feel like that's so traumatic. You know what I mean? Like, I talked to somebody I personally know who had an abortion, and she says it's like you literally can feel them ripping the baby out of you. And I would have never recovered. I would not be okay today. And it's almost been a year. I would not be okay. Yeah, then I go, we can do adoption. Never really took that serious. I Googled adoption and had people like calling me and emailing me. But I never paid no attention to them because I'm like, you know what? I ain't even going through with this shit, bro. I'm not getting adopted. I'm not getting abortion. I'm not giving my baby up. I'm going to have this baby. Okay? So, then we stopped talking. And then graduation came. And my stomach, I had a little pudge. And I didn't even know people at school. I don't know how they didn't notice. Because I was wearing big shirts. But my, like, y'all see I'm tiny. So my big shirts were big. But when I started getting a stomach, they weren't so big no more. So it was the day of graduation practice. And my dad was taking me to the mall. So I went to go get in the car. And as soon as I got in the car, my dad goes, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, I didn't want to say no. Because it's like I'm too far along. You know, I'm too in it. I can't lie. When I'm lying. And mind you, my face started getting fat. Because I was like 5 months. This was in May. So I was like 5 months pregnant. And I can't hide it no more. You know what I mean? Like my stomach is starting to show. My face got so fat. My nose was like across my face. Literally, just like this. So, I was like, why do you want to have this conversation right now? Like, can we talk like later? Like not in the car, like on the way to the mall. And I had sunglasses on, so I'm really crying, like saying like, why do you want to have this conversation right now? Can we have this conversation later? I'm not ready to talk about it. So he's like, you're pregnant, it's okay, I'm not mad, blah, blah, blah. My dad took it fairly well. Like, he took it really well, actually. it took a, and then he was like, I'm not going to rush you to tell your mom. You could tell your mom when you're ready. Like, I told him, I was like, look, my plan was to take my parents out to dinner and tell them that I was pregnant. That obviously got ruined because he didn't know how to wait and he just had to talk. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to rush you. That same day, I kid you not, that same day, my dad's like, my mom and dad don't live together, so he just pops up. And he's like, Kia, we need to talk to me. And I was in my room washing my face, you know what I mean? Like, getting ready for bed. And he calls me out there, and I'm like, oh my God, you said I didn't have to tell her. You said I could tell her when I was ready, blah, 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 blah. So I ended up telling my mom. My mom was kind of mad. But she was more mad at my dad because he made it seem like I didn't want my mom to know, but that's not the case. I wanted to tell my mom on my own terms. I felt like I'm telling her, but it's not on my terms. I'm being forced to tell her, and this is not how I want to tell her. So she knew. And it just was what it was at that point. Like, I was pregnant, you know? So there's nothing anybody can do. I'm 5 months, so we got a grandbaby on the way. And Caleb always made it seem like when my parents knew, he was going to tell his parents. So I text him like, hey, my parents know. Tell yours. He wasn't trying to tell them. You know why he wasn't trying to tell them? Because he was out there living his best life. He was out there smoking with his friends, going to parties, doing living his best life, I tell you. His best life. But that's where he had the game messed up. Because my sister, at the time, was working at a dental office. Happened to be the same dentist office that he goes to. So I think his mom had called or something, and she heard the name Caleb. So she was like, let me look in the system and see if this is her Caleb. Guess what? It was my Caleb. So guess what I got? I got her number. Got his daddy's number. And I text both of them. Hey, this is Tamia. Can you talk? And they was like, who's that? I'm like, that's okay. I didn't expect you to know who I am. Caleb's ex-girlfriend. I'm in this bitch. And it's crazy because I told him the day before I texted them. I was like, either you're going to tell your mom or I will. He was like, how'd you get my mom's number? I was like, don't worry about it. But just know, either you're going to tell your mom or I'm going to tell her. And he probably didn't think I was serious because he's probably like, she don't have my mom's number. I got your mom and your daddy's number. Who's your daddy now? It's so funny that like all played out the way it did. Cut it. Period. Done. Story over. On Pyro. Okay?